Hello, 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 everyone. How are you today? This is Doc Hogg, and I am welcoming you to Comics and Variety. Hope everyone's doing well this evening. Yeah, I am the guy who runs these short shows. The motto for my show is "Blink and you miss it." But seriously, I think I need to start off. Well, of course, we need to start off with uh, some very basic stuff. For example, let us get on over to right here. Tilt Part 2 is still available. And yeah, it is. We are hurtling toward our, well, I don't know about hurtling toward it. Maybe moving at a snail's pace is more accurate, but moving toward the stretch goal here. If we get to 135 backers, then everybody gets both of these pinups for free. The Queens of Tilt, along with a bonus Jennifer, and of course the Virgin version of the standard cover. And even if you just buy a digital copy, I will still be offering to send you for free the stretch goal pinup. So do sign up sign up and back Tilt. As soon as you can. The link is in the description below. Alrighty, folks. Now I think it's. I think I need to say that it is time for me, Doc Hogg, to F the napkin. Now, what do I mean by F the napkin? Well, I kind of mean pretty much this.
Well, this is the piece.
This is the piece?
Yes.
Are you telling me that this is it? This is scenery? Have you ever been to Stonehenge?
No,
The
I haven't been
triptychs
to
are
Stonehenge.
20 feet high. You can stand 4 men up them.
Ian, I was
This
asked
is-
to
this
build
is
a
insane.
triptych
This isn't a
18
piece of
inches
scenery.
high. Look, this is what I was asked to build. 18 inches, right here. It's specified, 18 inches. I was given this napkin. I mean,
Forget this. Fuck the napkin.
Well, I'm saying I need to F the napkin because, well, I've kind of had that experience recently. You see, um, well, how do I explain this? I think it's really best to say first and foremost that that wow. Last weekend we actually finally got some snow here in the Washington D.C. area, and I got to take my kid out to a park. Lots of nice slopes for him to ride his little snow disc down. But I wanted to get him something bigger for the next time. It looks like we're actually going to get some snow this weekend. Now, I did manage to get him a nice blow up toboggan. But well, I was looking online and I found what I thought was actually kind of a more traditional, regular toboggan, and so I purchased it. And I thought for $20, oh, what a great, awesome deal! And well, suffice to say, by that point, I was sick of shopping for this stuff online. When it starts to snow in the Northeast, this stuff can get very hard to find. Good good sleds that are not too expensive. And well, I didn't pay close enough attention because this is the toboggan that I ended up getting in the mail. It did say 15 by 17, 15 by with the two quotation, or the two, the quotation mark, not the one, the two, and 15 by 17, which is I'm not sure even, is this 15 by something, whatever it is. Maybe 5 by 17, who knows. But we'll just say I effed the napkin and pretty much leave it at that. Okay, what else should we take a look at here? Well, you might recall from my last video, I did a thing defending Narwhal from the Vikiverse, and I, put her in the in my tweet, sending out the tweeting out the video, and she, wait, you wasted time doing a video refuting my opinion of Plaster Harris's art. Well, no, actually, I didn't waste time. I made very good use of my time. And the best defense you've got is the conclusion that his art style may not be right for Meyer's book. Actually, again, that's a bit of a distortion. What I said was that we'd have to wait and see until Meyer's book comes out. It kind of depends on the actual comic book. Narwhal's art style is kind of odd, and if you've got an odd story, it fits. Jesus, dude, thanks for the attention. So anyway, she kind of distorted what I said a little bit, but at any rate, I replied, "You are welcome. Please keep up the good work on your tweets so I'll have more material." And well, she did not disappoint. She writes, "This inspires confidence." And this is regarding Richard Meyer's campaign for Rock and Roll Ninja, which he was getting a lot of complaints about it, that it wasn't long enough, that he hadn't put up enough art. And so she criticizes him for canceling the original campaign and refunding everybody's money and deciding that he's going to relaunch it and make it a 100-page graphic novel. I, of course, couldn't resist, and I said, so Richard Meyer listened to his customers and is trying to fix things. How awful of him. 15 campaigns under his belt. 15. This campaign was beyond half-assed. No page count, no art, no stretch goals. Meyer should have known better. How exactly is he listening to his customers? Carrier pigeon? All right. Maybe he didn't do a great job, but if he's getting emails from his customers, which is probably how he's listening to them, or comments on the campaign, which is another way that he's listening to them, he's gone out and fixed it. And so what? I mean, he's got 15 campaigns under his belt, and when he relaunched, of course, now they're bitching that he's put up even less art, even though he has changed it to a 100-page graphic novel. I don't really get it why everyone's so upset about, or why she's upset about that campaign. I mean, yeah, he's run 15 campaigns. Okay, maybe he didn't do a great job. I mean, that happens. Or maybe he wanted to get it out fast and figured that after having done a number of campaigns and delivered the book, and generally he delivers pretty quality stuff, maybe he thought his customers would be willing to take a risk on a campaign that didn't have all the bells and whistles, at least on the campaign page, and he guessed wrong. Okay, fault him for that, sure, but got to give him some kudos that when the customers started to react negatively, he said, "All right, let's start over, and I'm going to fix things." So I don't know. I think the Vikiverse, given that the stuff on Narwhal actually was a bit more of an attack, what was also an attack on Richard Meyer. I think Vicky has a bit of a hard-on for Richard Meyer, but at any rate. Okay, let's talk about the main topic today, which is race and or gender swapping a character in comic book character. And because there's been a couple articles about that recently, and I want to raise the question of when is it okay to actually race and or gender swap a character? I don't know. I think folks on the left think it's always completely fine no matter what to race and gender swap. And a lot of folks in Comicsgate, I get the sense, think that it is never okay. So kind of the extreme positions there. I also understand, and as someone who considers himself part of Comicsgate, you know, a lot of the race and gender swapping usually is accompanied by woke politics. So, you know, aside from the issue of just race and gender swapping, it also, you know, one of the undesirable features of it is it's usually an attempt to shove woke left-wing politics in your face. I mean, the best example I can think of this recently was, you know, the switching of Doctor Who to a female, you know, female Doctor Who, which I think could have worked. Although, again, I'm not, well, I should say that I'm not enough of a Doctor Who fan. I really have rarely ever watched Doctor Who. It's just not my thing. And I'm not knocking anybody for whom that's their thing. Obviously, it must be doing something right if it's, you know, lasted the decades that it has. But, you know, clearly that putting a woman in could have been something very interesting. But what was it? Well, it just became a big, you know, propaganda harangue for global warming and climate change, etc. And it was, by all accounts, some of the worst Doctor Who, at least from the people whose reviews I tend to trust, was the worst Doctor Who seasons that the show has ever produced. So, okay, but that said, let's go to some of the stuff that has been discussed with regard to race and gender swapping recently. First was Eric July, who attacked. Yeah, Eric July rips Hollywood's tokenization of comic book characters after Titans Tim Drake casting announcement. I guess they are casting Tim Drake as a black or Hispanic kid there, when Tim Drake has never been anything but a white guy. And he blasted it. Now, I would recommend that you take a look at this article from Bounding Into Comics and then go over to Eric July's YouTube channel and take a listen. The link to this is in the description below. But here's another one from Bounding Into Comics, another interesting piece here about all of the redheaded comic book characters that have been race swapped. And I just want to share one. I'm just going to share one part of this here.
I just assumed all Bladder League pads
Not
felt
this
the
part.
same.
Yeah.
But nothing makes me feel like Always Discreet Boutique.
Ah,
Outside, it's soft like
Yay!
underwear. Inside, it turns liquid to gel for incredible protection that feels like nothing but my underwear. Always Discreet Boutique.
okay. All right.
Version, the character version, she cast actor McCad Brooks to
Yeah,
Wally
we're gonna
West
go
in
to
the
this-
Flash and its Arrowverse universe.
We are going to go to this one here. 312. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at this one, shall we? Yeah.
Had his trademark red hair, as you can see. Number 6, Starfire. Starfire was race swapped in DC Universes and now HBO Max's Titans series. The character is currently portrayed by actress Anna Diop. Starfire first appeared in DC Comics Presents number 26 and was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez in 1980 as part of the New Titans. In her first appearance, she has orange skin and flaming red hair, as you can see here. Number 7, Batwoman. Batwoman was most recently race swapped in the CW's Batwoman.
Okay, and the second one I want to take a quick look at here is, I think this is right. Yeah, here we go. All right, we'll take a look at this one as well. All righty.
Who's standing next to him. Number 17, Flash Thompson. Eugene Flash Thompson is race swapped in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in his multiple appearances in Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. The character is portrayed by Tony Revolori. While Thompson has primarily been depicted as a blonde in more recent comics, the character noticeably had reddish-orange hair in many of his early appearances, including in his first appearance in Amazing Fantasy number 15. And here's another look.
All righty. So let's take a look and talk for. Hello, Rosetta. How are you, my dear? How have you been? Let's take a look and talk. Hello. Let's take a quick look at how. Excuse me here. Let's take a look at some characters that have been race. Well, I think this is one of the first big race and actually gender swaps in comic books, and it was this. Let's bring this back up. And yeah, here we go. This is Monica Rambeau, and she was created in Marvel as the new Captain Marvel in the early 1980s, and she replaced the original Captain Marvel, a man, white man, replaced by a black woman. And I remember when Captain Marvel, the movie first came out, there were a number of people saying, why didn't they just use Monica Rambeau? They were, a lot of people were clearly, I think comic skaters were clearly fine with this particular race and gender swap. And she had kind of I don't know about a long run, but she was in a lot of Avengers comics for a while and then had her own series. And no one seemed to really mind, in part because I think Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, just was not a particularly popular character. Just didn't do super well in his original run, and so maybe one thing is if the original character just isn't that popular. Doesn't have a real strong following of fans. Maybe trying a different race, different gender, something like that might actually be worthwhile. So that's maybe one exception. And maybe when the character has had a very long history and has a very strong fan following, maybe race and gender swapping is not such a good idea. Maybe those are some principles that define when to do it and when not to. Again, I don't know. I'm just kind of starting to stick my toe into the water of this pool. And yeah, what else? Well, I think the Starfire one was very interesting because Starfire does have quite the history. And she has had orange skin and very red hair. Hello, guy from Red Bank. Good to see you. Good to see you. And yeah, so Starfire, what they did with her in DC's Teen Titans, I just don't know. This may be that was certainly pushing it. Mary Jane Watson, who has always been a redhead in the comic and has played a very in Spider-Man and has always played a very large role in the Spider-Man series when played by Kirsten Dunst. I remember Kirsten Dunst when she was first interviewed about the playing this character. She said yes, and Mary Jane will be a redhead. She was sporting her natural blonde hair at the time, and just wanted to let everyone know it was important that this character be a redhead. Now, what have they done in Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming? Well, they put in Zendaya, who is, she's not a bad actress, I don't think, but clearly not a redhead. And, a lot of people have complained about that. I think when you've got a character like Mary Jane Watson with that much history and the red hair has really defined her look, I'm just not sure race and gender swapping is such a good idea there. But how about the other one, the other part of the video that we took a look at? Flash Thompson, originally redhead, they changed him over to blonde, and now this is what oh yeah, well, she's not even Mary Jane, she's just MJ. Yeah, but she was called MJ numerous times. She's been called MJ numerous times in the Spider-Man comics, so I'm not even sure that's everybody knows who they're referring to, they're referring to there. But okay, fair point. But at any rate, where is my little flip up here? Okay, Flash Thompson. I mean, you check his character bio, and he's had some history in Spider-Man, but he's never been nearly the central character that Mary Jane has. And if I have any real complaint with this guy, whose name I'm forgetting right at the moment, with him playing Flash Thompson, isn't really his hair color or his race. It's that he's not, 6'4" and, broad shouldered and barrel chested and athlete, because that's what Flash Thompson has always been. I mean, if that's my main complaint with that. I don't know that Flash Thompson, I question whether or not he's been a central enough, important enough character in the Spider-Man books that it really matters that much if you race or gender swap him. I think, if you want to be true to the character, again, he should be 6'4" and athletic, which is what he is, why he's the bully he is to Spider-Man, or to Peter Parker. But I don't know. Maybe if the character is not that central to the overall comic, race and gender swapping is not is perfectly fine. I'm sure there's other times when it's the right thing to do, a good idea. But again, I'm not exactly sure when those times are, because I just don't really think we've had kind of the more subtle discussions about this sort of thing. I think both sides have just taken a hard line. One saying no. If the character was white-skinned, if the character had red hair, it always has to remain that way. And the other side says, screw that, we'll change it whenever we damn well please, who cares? And you're racist, bigot, sexist, homophobe, blah, 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 if you disagree with us, okay? So at any rate, who knows? But hopefully this will kind of get the discussion going. And it's almost 10 p.m. now, and I want to go to bed. So, all righty. Thanks everyone for showing up. And I'll be back Monday. Going to be reviewing some. Oh, yeah, that's right. He did have a role in Venom, and that is not Flash Thompson. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, he did have a role in Venom. Still, I'm not sure he's quite central enough to the overall Spider-Man. Yeah, well, no, there was a lot wrong with Spider-Man Homecoming. You're absolutely right. There's been a lot of problems with both of those movies. The only good thing really, there were two good things out of both of those movies. One is Tom Holland, I think, is the right actor to play Spider-Man. The other one was Michael Keaton as the Vulture, was actually a good character as well. But okay, let's leave it at that. I will see you back here on Monday. We'll be reviewing some comics on Monday, and whatever else has been going on in the comic book world, or maybe even in the non-comic book world. So thanks everyone for stopping by. I will see you on Monday, and have a very good rest of your weekend. Take care.